I'm here with Chelsea Barbo in the studio. What's going on, Chelsea?
What's up?
What are you doing today?
Probably gonna be doing a little keys.
You're recording today?
Yeah.
Throwing it down.
Finally.
Well, thanks for taking time for this interview then.
My pleasure.
I know you're busy.
Yeah. So busy.
All right, let's do the interview.
Okay.
What do we got here?
This is our Nowherebound 6, also known as Mourning Glory. It's like a checkoff list, kind of. We have all of our bandmates here, all of the song names here, or some of them temporary names. And as we finish things, we get to go through and color in the boxes.
So, Chelsea, where are you from?
I was born and raised here in Austin, Texas.
One of those rare unicorn natives, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like being an Austin native? Like a 2%er, 1%er?
I assume it's just like everybody else. I just got to grow up here.
What is it about... Oh, God. Hold on. What is it about this band, Nowherebound, that's different from your past bands and your solo experiences?
I think it's the sense of family. I think it's the past that we all share. We were all friends first, or at least that's from my perspective. You know, I was friends with everyone first, and then I got to join into the band aspect. So it was more, it's just we're family, and our writing chemistry rocks, and we're all very respectful of each other and where we come from, and open at the same time. So it's like we don't have to hold back our opinions about things because we all know it's from love. So I think in the past I've experienced less mature versions, and that includes myself. I didn't have the experience that I have now. I didn't have the understanding of how it works. And so I think that it kind of feels like my solo career, and then the band that I played with for a couple of years, they were like stepping stones to get here. And now I feel like I've kind of earned my way into a place that feels like home.
When did you start with Nowherebound?
I actually started way back in the day, probably 5 or 6 years now, when it was just
2012.
It was 2012. Thank you, Clink. It was just Clink and you, Natchet, and I. Living room jams and bedroom studios. Good times.
So, what is it about punk music that you love?
I think it's obviously the energy of it. I love the energy, the fast pace, the passion behind it. But I think it's also more of the ethical stuff that I dig. I dig that people are opinionated, and I think that it's awesome that you can freely be yourself in a community of people that's gonna either accept you or hate you, but it's okay either way.
What advice would you give to anyone who is trying to write songs? You're a songwriter, right?
I am a songwriter.
So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to write songs?
For me, in my experience, and I find a lot of other artists feel this way, it all starts in the heart. It all starts with where you feel. So to really get in touch with a song that means something, I feel like you have to really get in touch with yourself and kind of, I think some of my best songs have been coming lately because I'm able to accept where I am and who I am right now, and I've never been able to really experience that before. So it's opening up an avenue that I have stuff that's coming out, and it's not hard, it's not labored, it's just something that's very freely flowing within me. And so I feel like that's the first step, is just try to really accept what you feel, how you feel about things, and then use that as a way to write and get it out.
Chelsea, how do songs come to you?
Ooh, I think it kind of depends. Well, yeah, it kind of depends on what like cycle of life I'm in. when I'm happy, it's actually harder. But when I'm going through maybe like a troubling or even tragic time, I tend to be able to just sit down and I feel like sometimes my hands have brains of their own, because there are times where I will write something and I have no idea how it happened. I just sat down and they did it.
The songs just come out?
Yeah.
Do you ever have to work at them? Like, I'm gonna write a song today and you work at it, or is it? Do you do
Sometimes,
both?
yeah. Sometimes, more often than not, if I'm laboring at it, if I'm really trying hard at it, I'm not going to finish the song in a day. It's going to take more than that. But if it's coming naturally, I can normally finish a song in like an hour.
Hey, so one of the unique experiences you have in this band that other members don't is your gender. What is it like to be a woman in rock and roll? Or is it really nothing? Have you noticed anything, or any of your experiences that have been defined by that are notable or worth talking about?
I think that I am in a position that maybe not a lot of women find themselves in, and maybe they do. I haven't experienced a whole lot of, well, that's not true. I've experienced a lot of women at least in the circles here in Austin. But to me, I feel like I'm lucky enough that I'm empowered by it. I feel like being in a position where I get to creatively express myself, but also like I have an amazing support system. You know, I never feel like weak or less than, or like, it's quite the opposite. I definitely feel empowered by the entire punk scene. It's a very I feel cool, you know, like I feel like I'm part of the cool kids finally. So yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of a difference being a woman. You obviously have to carry yourself differently, but it's not in a negative way. I don't feel like. I feel like it's given me the power to like stand up straight and kind of be like, yeah, this is who I am and this is what I do, and I don't really care who knocks it, you know.
Chelsea, what animal do you identify with most and why?
Oh, that's hard. Oh, I guess a cat. I feel like it'd be like, but like a big cat, you know, like a wild, like a cheetah.
Like a predator?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
What do you want our fans, Nowherebound's fans, to know about Mourning Glory?
That it is straight from the soul. I think all six of us sitting in a room and doing this together, it's got all of our hearts, blood, sweat, tears. I think it's going to be a perfect representation of who we are and where we are and the fact that we're doing it all together.
Thanks.
Thank you.